So welcome to Isis in the Bible, the Winter Gathering week number 4. Wolf Moon babies. The question for today is, do you think babies are planned? Is it random? Is it chaos? Is it karmic destiny to ensure timing is right for realignment towards one love? And why do wolves howl the greatest during this icy wolf moon? So glad you could join us today. We went around the room and we had quite a discussion. It brought on some very interesting conversations because it's something that we don't normally speak about, but it was really cool. And I'll edit the video. I'll add what people responded. So what's happening in the sky on January 25th, tomorrow at 1 p.m., we're going to have a full moon. So the full moon, the moon's going to be in Cancer, by the way, not in Leo. If you look to the sky, I'll show you that in a second. And it's going to be really close to Precipice, the star Precipice, but it's going to be also on the bottom of the chart, the IC. The IC, the Imam Coeli, the bottom of the chart is the coldest part of the chart. The top of the chart where Jesus is on the mount is the warmest, and then the bottom of the chart is the nativity scene at night. It's the coldest part. So the sun's in Cancer across from the moon in Capricorn, right? We'll speak a little bit of that when I get into a little bit of astrology later. Cancer is your aura, right? Your aura. And Capricorn is related to your aura, 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the land. So it's totally related. All right. So Precipice is the beehive cluster. It's the hive, it's the manger, it's the crib. So this full moon being in Cancer and close to Precipice is pretty interesting. It's also represents King Midas, everything turned to gold, a honey, a commune. So we're going to go into Stellarium. I brought up Stellarium for the exact time of January 25th at approximately 1 p.m. You can see, and go ask any astronomer, or pull out any star app. The moon is in Cancer. It's your aura. So it's really important. Aura starts with AU, gold, right? Your aura, it's the Cancer is also representative to the stomach, and you are what you eat, right? In medical astrology, it's also the breasts where the woman feeds her child. So it's important that we know that Cancer is the aura. You are what you eat. You are what you feel, and your baby will also feel the way you eat. So in other words, the way you eat with your mouth, the way what you breathe, what you see, what you do. So it's important this full moon to know that. So as you can see, it's in Cancer. So the wolf moon is called as such because of the active howling during the icy cold effects of the first moon of the year. So the ancients always track this. The elderly say that this is a reinforcing social bonds time, because you know wolves are in packs, right? We don't always have to think of the hunting word and all that. No, they're trying to teach us something. They're trying to show us something, because the animals don't want to take down other animals. They don't. They're all soul guides. It's a whole nother discussion we can have one day on why do they show us that they take down another animal, because they're displaying something to us. We'll do that. We'll save that for one of our Wednesdays. So coincidence or not, we do know that the moon and the sun control the weather, the growth, the birth of all seed, including humans. Because don't we follow the moon in the Farmer's Almanac? Absolutely we do. So it's interesting to know that the moon is on the IC exactly for Windsor, the Eastern time zone, and we're going through an icy time and really bizarre weather. So it's kind of interesting. The other thing I wanted to mention is for people in Eastern time, if they were to do the act, physical or non-physical right now, during that full moon, it's the time, because you can see Lilith, because Lilith does the physical act. When there's a full moon, the part of fortune, there's that circle with the X that we're going to be talking about, is going to be on the descendant exactly on the full moon in Scorpio, which is procreation. So you can see that this has the making of birthing some really interesting babies, or conceiving interesting babies. So these babies will be wolf babies that have a special social bond. All right, a little bit of community stuff. So a nice cold wolf moon is a reminder to keep your heart warm, keeping in mind that we need to reinforce our social bonds, not just with humans, but with all of Mother Nature. We are being called to reconnect. Here are some examples sending out reflections of how you can keep your heart warm during an icy cold moon. So I won't read all these, but I'll just read the titles. Plant a tree, homemade bird feeders, visit an elderly home, an animal shelter volunteering, a beach or park cleanup, teach a free class, cook a vegan meal for someone, create a butterfly garden, donate books to a library, write letters to those away from home, crafting for a cause, set up a free library, offer to babysit for a busy parent, build insect hotels, organize a fundraiser for a good cause, teach the elderly how to use technology, random acts of gardening. That's pretty cool. I wish somebody would come and do that to this lot that I have over next to my brother's house. It's just build me a big garden there. Compliment strangers genuinely, collect and donate food for food banks, offer your seat on public transport, recycle and educate others about it, and create a community garden. Just wanted to show put some thought starters in on what you can think about doing. You don't have to do these all in a day. You can just think about them. Okay, so many people are asking me, what do I recommend to learn astrology? So that's not an easy thing to say, because the way we have consensus right now, it doesn't make it difficult, but I'm going to put out a video to try to make it as simple as possible. But you do have to tell yourself, I want to remember the oldest language that I used to know. You need to look into the mirror, deep into your eyes, and say, I want to remember this language. This is the only language you should ever want to learn, as is the language of your cycles, your destiny, your experiences. It answers the who, what, when, where, and why, and how of your lives. It has the birthing in there. It shows when things are divinely planned, but it can change based on our labyrinth of choices, right? Because we do have choice. So I'm just going to go through some of the slides that I have for that, just very quickly overview. So like, again, if there's any language that you care to learn that is universal throughout the ages, it's the language of the stars. Wisdom stays deep within you, in your core, and you're connecting with that same refuge. So we would start with the houses to explain what the houses are. So just like the houses in your neighborhood, and the houses are exactly the same as the zodiac sign. So you only really need to learn 12 different qualities. It's like learning the houses in your neighborhood. It has a different vibration to it. So you just have to learn what the essence of that house, aka zodiac sign, is. It's the stars, it's the light. So I would show you these, you only need to learn these essences. For example, thoughts, weighing of the heart. It's important that you know what's across from each other, because your thoughts are a direct effect to the weighing of the heart. There's Libra, Aries, right? Libraries. So I'm trying to put it simply put, so that all you need to learn, unmanifested water and purity, right? So I won't go through all these, but I'm just going to show you that this is how I'm going to go through and do this course, so people can just learn more, because every sign opposite the other sign has absolute meaning to them. And then we would go on to the medical essence of it, exact same thing. Each one of these signs have a meaning to them. Like the Aries is the head and the brain, the cranium, and then the Libra is a lumbar region of skin, kidneys, pancreas, bones, whatever. I'm not going to go through all these, but same thing. I'm going to go through these so people can learn them. This is the language that anyone should know and should be teaching their kids. There's millions of languages out there, but they all resort back to the Egyptian walls and what we used to know. This is just an overview of all the different medical astrology signs. And the vibrations from your family, these are the qualities of you. And when somebody shows up to you, they can give you these types of signs, right? So I've tried to set them up where they're all related, because obviously there's you in both Marys. And when you do a chart, they're there. Again, I'm not going to go into these in detail. Here's God the Father, which is Pluto. When we have an act of God, everybody says we have this pandemic, and in the Bible, there's all sorts of pandemics, acts of God. Well, when you go back and look at those acts of God, you can see Pluto is at play. Pluto is the dog, the God, the palindrome of God and dog, right? Uranus, which we talked about today, Susan, that's the winds of Atlas, the sky in the womb. This is Shu holding up in the Egyptian walls, holding up the sky, Neptune energy. And so how your wings are tethered to time, and how you take yourself out when we want to go and come back. Venus and Mars. So again, I'm not going to spend too much time on these. Hygeia and Mercury, how your cleanses are timed. The difference between Lilith and the Black Moon. Chiron, the wounded healer. Vesta and Jupiter law. And then Palace and communities, and how we get together and heal everybody, because it's happening. There's a lot of healers around the world, so it's time. And the only way we're going to do it is in community with natural medicines. We will talk about how everything rotates around the sky. So when you look at the astrology chart, we'll talk about the cardinal points and its significance in birthing. And then again, the north and the south node that creates the eclipses, which eclipses us as well. And then we start talking about the Ouroboros and separating the tail from eating its snake. Sorry, the snake eating its tail. All right, so just quickly wanted to go through that, because we are going to put out video because people are asking, and I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. But all you got to do is learn what those images mean, because they're just simple qualities that everybody that expresses to you in your life and your journey. Some ISIS in the Bible, what people are sharing. So Kat shared this beautiful video here, which warms our hearts. There you go. There's a cardinal, right? The cardinal points. I would love to have known her chart in that time and show you when that beautiful being and how that beautiful energy would show up. These are all spiritual, right? The angel, spirit, anima equals soul. All right. Knowledge is power. Sun is at 1. So both Brian and David both sent me this video. This is really cool because people are really diving deep in. Of course, Susan always mentions something, so she mentioned the Mayan calendar, right? So here we go. So people are looking deeply into symbology from our ancestors.
For 500 years, we were told this was the sun, Tonatiuh. And we liked that idea, so we consider ourselves children of the sun. We thought that was pretty nice. However, the fact that the sun appeared to be bloodthirsty and wanting your blood, that was not very nice. So we had to say, well, that's Tonatiuh, and he gives us light and warmth like a good father. So it didn't make sense that he would also want to eat us up while he's giving us that light and warmth like a good father. It was a few years back that our grandfathers told us where the sun was hidden on this calendar system. In the 70s, 2 anthropologists came out with the information that this was not the face of the sun, but of the earth. Even though that information has come out, has been published in many books as well, like I said, even today they still call it the sun god. So we're very interested in pointing out who this really is, Tlaloc. So a few years back, our grandfathers tell us The sun is here, but the sun is hidden. It is hidden for those who don't want to see it. They can't see it. But I believe you want to see it. So the sun is hidden right here. And this beak, this is the beak of an eagle. These are the claws of the eagle. The claws of the eagle. And these are the tail feathers of the eagle. So if you were to cover up this image right here, you would have an image, symbolically, image of the eagle with his wings outspread and his claws and his tail feathers. That is the sun. Superimposed over the shape of a butterfly. And they are both superimposed over the face of the earth. So that is a very, very special and important astronomical event that takes place every year without fail on July 26th. So on July 26th, the sun is directly above Mexico City, Mexico Tenochtitlan, in the zenith every year without fail.
So that's pretty interesting. And I did go check the charts, and yes, it is absolutely. So what he's talking about, the zenith, what he's talking about is the MC on the charts, right? He's talking about this right here. So on July 26th, the sun is over top. So it's a beautiful cycle. That's the tropical cycle, but that's just following the seasons of the sun. So what he's bringing there is very beautiful. So just the sun is at one whole with the whole. In other words, the womb is the all, and the sun is in the womb. So yes, it shares the middle of the zodiac, but not the way we think, right? Like we think everything revolves around the sun, but when you look to the sky, everything is revolving around you, the sun. So it's both. It's both. It really is. The sun shares the whole, and the sun is part of the whole. So think about that. So here now moving along to somebody else shared, a sister Judith on academia.org. She shared an article on X marks the spot. So it's pretty synchronistic how we talked about X marked the spot last week, and up comes this beautiful article. So this article has so many aha moments in it. Knowing in astrology that the part of fortune, lot of fortune, right, is related to births, attempts at birth, in vitro, all of the above. So this is part of the conception, immaculate conception. It's timed in our charts, folks. It 100% is. Of course, we're on a labyrinth and we can make choices, but they can be timed and they can be immaculate. So just to read a couple things from her article. The X's and the O's, so this part of fortune, remember, it's birthing. X's and O's is hugs and kisses. Well, what do? We hug and we kiss before we have a baby, right? X is the multiplication sign. So when somebody said we're here to multiply, yeah, that was pretty synchronistic too, because the X means multiply. So looking down here, so this circle here, according to Porphyry of Tyros, the Egyptians use an X with a circle as a symbol of the soul. And we know that to be true. We've showed this before, right? This is some birthing scenes on the Egyptian walls. Both this part, waiting to birth, and this one giving birth. And you can see this part of fortune. This is the part of fortune, it's conception. In ancient origins, tic-tac-toe, also known as noughts and crosses or X's and O's, is believed to have originated from ancient Egypt, an ancient Egyptian game. But it's on the walls, it's not a game. It's the game we think of as a physical act, but it's supposed to be a divine act. That's something we got to teach our kids. And then she also talks about there's a portion in time when you can look to the sky and the Milky Way gets lit up by the light of the zodiac, and it makes an X in the sky. So I'm going to do more research into that because that's really, really cool. So when you look at this, which star are you? Are you one of them, or are you all of them? Are you part of the whole, the all, the infinite love? Then you're not only the light of the stars, but you're also the black in between, which is pureness. So synchronistically, after I got that document from Judith Hill, Ken's video on divine numbers he just recently posted, he reiterates what we've been telling you from the circle of 6 repeating numbers. So this is his video, Divine Numbers of Metaphysics, Greek, Indian, and Egyptian. And he makes this circle because we only really need to teach our kids from 1 to 9 and 0. Because once we get to 10, it's just a repeat of the all and the one of the circle. This was the 9, 1, 0, 1, 1, right? You see the 10 and then the 1, right? This is the golden ratio. This is where it comes across in the east, on the east side. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. Here's what he says. Within the boundaries of 10, 1 and 10. 10 is not actually considered by the ancient Pythagoreans, Greeks, or the Egyptians as a number, rather full circle. So 10 is 1. 1 is a representative coming full circle. It's just a repeat. In numerology, 9 is end of cycle, 1 is new beginnings, and then you got the 0 in between, the all, the whole, where we get rebirth. So there's no need to teach your children mathematics of today, division, multiplication. I had this discussion with a sister who's doing homeschooling. I told her, learn the circle of 60, teach your kids a circle of 60, because everything's in it. All physics is in there, which includes the compartmentalized sciences. It brings it all together. It's the golden ratio sequence of perfection and beauty and how things manifest. And this includes our journeys. 1 to 9 completes a cycle, and a new cycle after 9 becomes 1 or 10. It's a circle within a circle within a circle. So when we got the 1s columns and the 10s columns and 100 columns, those are just clocks within clocks. We don't need to understand them the way we teach kids in mathematics. That's just confusing to them. Because it's not a language what we teach our kids. This is language. If you want to teach your kids properly, teach them what the Pythagoreans taught. Teach them the golden ratio triangle and how it keeps separating and keeps going holographically into itself in a beautiful way, and everything manifests that way. So folks, it is all about the cardinal points, right? So the part of fortune, this is how part of fortune is calculated in a birth chart, in anybody's chart. When you see this on a astrology chart, so if someone's born in a day, it's the ascendant, what rises in the east, plus the moon angle minus the sun angle. If the child's born at night, it's the ascendant plus the sun angle minus the moon angle. This little simple math shows up when people adopt, when they have in vitro fertilization, when they give birth. It's all there. People strong in these charts have this symbol strong in their chart. So we are part of a whole. It's not random. It's not chaos. We are divine. And it's divine timing. We do have some choices we can make, right? And it alters our path, and it's karmic. So at this point in time, we're going to stop for a moment. And Fiona, if you're ready to kick in,
Yes.
please read your poem for us.
All right. Okay. Right. This is called Role Model. Compassionate ray of light, intuitive and bright, wise beyond her human age, she'll soon allay your inner rage. Selfless, patient, a shoulder for all, always there for advice on call, giving her time and lending both ears for all in the family, all through the years. No judgment passed, but mood is lifted, a hallmark of the spiritually gifted. Words of encouragement lift up souls, should be everyone's lifetime goals. Envisions a realm where folk are caring, generous spirits unafraid of sharing, a comforting place where kindness is king. Heartfelt gestures are a wonderful thing. Love is a verb, she lives it each day. She's a role model in every way. I write from the heart, it's all meant truly. Poems dedicated to Cousin Julie.
I wish I could get my camera out right now, but there's a hawk right outside. A hawk just landed here right outside my window.
Oh, how lovely.
It's a baby hawk too. It's like a little.
Oh, it's a baby.
Wow.
Oh.
Woo, I got goosebumps. Wow. Okay, I'm just going to take
Oh, how lovely.
right now. And I'll bring that up in a moment. Wow. Woo. Okay, sorry, I just got to. I'm just. These goosebumps in my body are overwhelming right now. Thank you so much, Fiona.
That's okay, love.
Obviously, Spirit is very happy. The All is very happy to have that hawk, Horus, the all-seeing eye, giving us proof that while we're together today, showing us that everything is divinely planned and we're connected with the All, Mother Nature. We got to be very kind to Mother Nature. So another synchronistic poem we heard yesterday at Unity's cross-country meeting is this beautiful poem by Brother Barry Hunt, who is an active poet. He said, everything is a centering prayer. Got this, then a little song, and then we'll be done. When we sacrifice our natural world on the cross of our ambitions, we settle our affairs with the loudest voice. When the seeds of compassion lie dormant in our hearts, then we have lost our center and must find our way there. It may be a way of letting go. It may be a way of connecting, or a way of being still. It may be calling upon the energies of where we are, the energies of the earth, the air, and the water. It may be calling upon our ancestors. It may be calling upon the children yet to come, calling them to this moment, calling them with our way of letting go, calling them with our way of connecting, or a way of being still. Everything is a way there. Everything is a centering prayer. How we are in this moment, how we dance, and how we are still. How we are with one another, and how we are with all beings. How we are with the earth, the air, the water. Everything is a way there. Everything is a centering prayer. It's a poem by Barry Hart from The Calling of the Heart, poems inspired by the whispering of each month, now available on Amazon. I guess he's got them on Amazon. So a beautiful poem. And timely, just like Fiona's role model. So time to finish up with this beautiful song by Ajeet, music shared by RevCat. So I'm just going to play this song and you can read along with it.
Oh, I walked down to the water's edge and I lay my body down. And the dark sky above me wrapped its cold arms around me as the night carried me away. As the night carried me away. Visions of dancers moving through time and the circles where they wore sacred wine to wet their lips for the stories they told as the night carried me away. As the night carried me away. Dance with me under the dance with me under dance with me under dance with me under Who knows how many moons will be here, my dear? So I followed you into the clearing, to the place where voices rose like smoke, and they carried us away. And they carried us away. When you wake from the place where the soul speaks in riddles, and the night can go on for years. Oh, it drifts away like the dew in the morning as the night it fades away. As the night it fades away. Dance with me under the moon. Dance with me under the moon. Dance with me under the moon. Dance with me under the
How beautiful is that, eh? If anybody wants to listen to more of their music, Ajeet music. This song was there at this address there, but you can just go to ajeet.com. Wow. So I got to show something show something to you guys, all right? Because I went and looked at what was happening in the sky when the hawk landed in a tree right there, and this is how things work. Bear with me for a second while I pull up my screen. Can you guys see this screen?
Yes, that's fine. Yeah.
So
Yes.
the hawk landed in the tree at 4:41 p.m. If you can see, look at the moon is exactly rising in this time zone. You see what the hawk did? We're talking about the moon. We're talking about the cardinal points. We're talking about the part of fortune. The part of fortune is lined with Mars right there at Vega, the star Vega. But for it, because I'm gonna move this by 1 minute at a time just to show you what happens. All right, it's already set at 1 minute. So I'm gonna move this 1 minute at a time. You can see how fast it moves just by moving 1 minute at a time. So that hawk came exactly when the moon was rising in the east. So that goes to show you how we're all connected. And that's all we have for today.